Well, hi, everybody. This is DearMamaSal, and we are live on a Friday evening, which means it's time for us to talk about coping with life, and in particular, how to cook up some hopefully interesting looking meals on a very tight budget. And today, I am hoping that you will enjoy my selection. You will see something unusual today, which is next to my air fryer, which I normally use, you will see my crock pot. And inside my crock pot, I have two turkey breasts. And I'm going to talk to you more about that, but that's what we're going to be talking about. Now, the reason I got the crock pot out was because I wanted to create a citrus um, type, um, you know, meal. And that's been quietly cooking between the two broadcasts. And so I'm very excited about that. I'm going to give it a quick taste along the way. But I also wanted to make the vegetables to go with it and the gravy and everything all in the crock pot. So that's been quietly cooking this afternoon. We're also going to make a Waldorf salad. When did you last make a Waldorf salad? So I'm just going to remind you how easy it is. I'm also going to try some zucchini boats. I don't know whether they'll work, but we'll try them anyway. And then if we've got time, I'm also going to do a stuffed pita. And that should hopefully use up all the chicken breasts. So first of all, welcome to you all. For those of you who are new to the broadcast, a very big welcome. If you want to watch it in the background, not a problem at all. Hi to Jody, who's our admin. Hi to Jeannie, who is our backup admin, and also our first sale. Thank you, Jeannie, on our beautiful Christmas cards that are on the DearMamaSal.com site. So, Jeannie, nobody will ever take that away from you. You are number one. And not only that, we found out some gremlins along the way, which is why we do the beta testing. And we also found out what works. So that is, one step at a time. I'm really, really excited about this. So really thank you for the support on that. So today, let us start. This is all the stuff. I've got the colors of the rainbow: orange, yellow, more orange, green celery, and apple, which has red in it, so that's good. But this is all going to be for our Waldorf salad and our zucchini boats, but we're doing those later. So while I'm getting the crock pot out, how about this? All right. What is a serving of turkey? Let's see how we're doing. And also, because you're also smart, what is the internal temperature required when you're cooking turkey? I'm going to go get the crock pot. Smells so good. Uh, I think I might put something underneath that. Okay, how are we doing? Yes, 3 to 4 ounces is what Jeannie suggests. It actually is, you're quite right. It's about 3.2 or something really weird. So I managed to get two turkey breasts that together weighed about 378 grams, or in American, that would be about 13 ounces. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide that up in roughly. If I halve each of the turkey breasts, then we should be about the right place. And I'm not sure what a turkey breast costs where you live, but in order to buy just on 13 ounces of turkey breast costs me about $8 something in Canada. Okay. So what we're going to do is spend about $2 a meal in terms of the meat. I want to see. Now, you probably want to know. All right, so Jody's saying the internal temperature she believes should be about 165. You're quite right, which was in Fahrenheit. And for those of you who live in all the rest of the world, That would be about 85 Celsius that you need as an internal temperature. Very good. All right, so I'm going to get out the 2 turkey breasts. Now you're probably going to wonder what I threw in with it, and I'm going to tell you that in a second. Yum. Now this is called multitasking cooking. The next thing I'm going to do is separate the gravy from the vegetables. That I need a sip. Okay, so now, oh, it smells so good, people. So I started with warming up. I warmed up the crock pot with about a cup of water to start with. And once that was already cooked, while it was doing that, I put the turkey breast into my air fryer and just sealed it. So that worked well. I think I put it in at about 400 for 5 minutes each way, each side. And then I put it in, put the turkey breast in, and I'm going to show you what I put in with it. I think we're doing pretty well on colors there. And why am I always obsessed about the colors? Because if you have all the colors of the rainbow, you've got a healthy meal. All right, so let's put that away. I'm a great believer in not working hard, so I've just put enough water into the crock pot to cover the all the bits. All right, so now by the time I finish the broadcast, that'll all have soaked off and it'll be much easier to clean. All right, so now we have got turkey breasts here. We've got vegetables and gravy separated. Now that's what you call smart cooking. And what I'm going to do is try and get organized. So we'll take our kitchen measure and we're going to try and create 4 meals. Out of this. And the first thing is we're going to, well, actually let me do this and we'll cut the turkey up. And so we're going to put that on there and we're going to zero the scale. We're talking about, well, let me show you. 4. Okay, I'm going to take a rough guess. It's probably a little bit too much. Oh, my bad. Yeah, actually not bad. So this is just about half. A little bit over that one, and this one's a bit under, which is fine. I'm quite happy. It's close enough, you know what I mean? And this one, yep, about 3.3 ounces on that. And this one, 3. That's a perfect one. How did I manage that? All right, so now we've got the amount of meat that we want for the 4 different meals. And you understand why I'm doing it this way. It makes it so much easier. I don't have to think. So we're going to cover those up right now, and we'll work through them. By the way, in case anybody's interested, it is 87 in my kitchen right now. And that would be 87 Fahrenheit would be 30.6 in Celsius. I know what you're saying. What about your air conditioner? That's with the air conditioner on. So you know how hot it is. All right, so the first thing we're going to make is roast turkey dinner. And quite honestly, I'm going to take a... I want to take a slice and just taste it. It is very succulent. You can almost see how succulent it is. And very tasty. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is just slice this Here we go. So I'm going to put the meat on that side. Okay, and I'm going to put some gravy in there. Because I like gravy. And Isabel, I know that you always like to know about the gravy. I'll talk you through that as well. And then last, I'm going to put in some of the vegetables. Okay. So, one very quick meal. Now let me talk you through it. Into the crock pot, I put 1 cup of water to start with, got that up to where it was steaming the lid of the crock pot. Then I know it's getting hot in there. And while that was doing that, I was busy searing both sides in the air fryer. And then once it was ready, I could put the turkey breasts in, which I did. But I also put in about a cup of wine. Now, when did you last see me put wine in? I put in about 1/3 of a cup of HP Fruity. I'm not getting paid, but it has such a great taste to it. I love that taste. I put in some, I don't see it there, hang on. I know I put it in. Yep. I put in some Worcestershire sauce, went in. Some soy sauce went in. Salt and pepper. I put in a good splash of paprika. I put in some salt and pepper. And then I put in the juice of 1 orange and the juice of half a lime. How many of you can almost taste it already? Oh, and that's not all. And I also put in a handful of cranberries, dried cranberries. So now what I've got here that I also threw in at the same time, orange peppers, yellow peppers, that is, celery, unidentified thing, celery, cranberries, you can see, and some onion. Okay. Now, What I'm going to do is, because that's what life is about. Hold on one second. Wait a minute. Doom, 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 doom. Oh, there it is. What I'm going to do is put a couple of slices of orange on top so that when I warm it up, it's going to have some wonderful orange on top of it as well. So what do you notice is missing? What haven't I got? No carbs. Okay, and what I'm finding is when I cook meals that are this tasty, I don't need the carbs. It's really funny. All Jody's hard work for that. So we're going to let that cool down while we do the broadcast. And the next thing is we're going to do the Waldorf salad. But I'm going to put those vegetables away. All right, so that's an extra serving of those vegetables. Oh, I had carrot in there as well, apparently. So good. Now, you understand all the vegetables have got that citrus infusion now as well. So really good. All right, so now we're going to take the second off. And we're going to need the chicken and the turkey to cool down. But how many of you like the idea that I literally cooked a whole meal just by throwing it all in the crock pot? And I can choose, if I really feel like having carbs, I can choose what do I want to have with it. Do I want to have a potato? Not necessarily, but if I feel like it, I can have half a potato or something. Or do I feel like having it over pasta? You see, I like the choices, and I don't want to make those ahead of time. So we're going to cut this up so it can cool a bit more quickly. So this is our second. And then I'm going to just cube it. By the way, what I also found is having the crock pot on didn't create too much heat in the house. It obviously, I didn't need any more, that was for sure. All right. That away. And now you're probably wondering, what am I going to do? What am I going to do with the leftover gravy? Well, this doesn't have to just be used for turkey, right? So the next time I bring chicken out, I will probably, and I feel like having gravy with it, what I do, some of you know this trick already, is I just take my muffin tin mold, and now what I've got is 3 portions of gravy to go over chicken or anything I want. Yes, Jeannie's saying she enjoys turkey with rice pilaf. Yeah, absolutely. So I just like to keep finding different recipes. So I'm hoping that this assortment pleases you. Now, the problem with silicone molds is that they twist. So I need to stabilize that. Yes. And we'll let that cool. and that will go in the freezer. So you understand that when I go to my freezer, I now, go, what have I got that I can, sometimes I see, that's turkey gravy. What shall I have with that? And I start picking. Or if I feel like having soup, making a soup, sometimes I'll just take some of that gravy and use that as a base and then add on to it, right? So it's lots of options, but I'm not wasting a drop of what I cooked. And that's the important thing. Well, there's a drop still in there, so. There's a drop of that citrus gravy at the bottom. Well, I don't want to waste that. So I want to tell you, I'm thinking mashed potatoes is going to go really well with that gravy. Okay. So here we go. Waldorf salad. So first thing you're going to need is the cooked turkey, and then a bowl. And this is where you can be as creative as you like. I've got some gala apple, and I like gala apple because it has the red component in it, complete with skins. Oh, and by the way, make sure that when you cut it up, you put it into water with lemon in it. It'll stop it going brown. So that's just got some lemon juice in it. When I was doing the citrus element, I just put some of the lemon juice in with the water for this. And then what else should we have in there? How about some grapes would be good, right? Now, obviously, if you had red grapes, it would add to the color. So I'm just going to, but I've only got green ones, so I'm going to just halve them and throw those in. Now, you understand, I'm also putting in my fruit number for the day. Yum, yum. By the way, for those of you about the citrus thing that we cooked, obviously I didn't put garlic in it because I'm allergic, but yeah, put as much garlic in as you like. And now what I'm going to do here is, let's do some mayo. Now, I've got a trick with mayo. What did I do with the mayo? It's over there, isn't it? I'm going to put in a dollop of the regular, dollop being that well-known amount. And then this, my newfound thing, which is, this is a jalapeno mayo, but it's too strong for me. So what I do is I put in the regular one and then little squidge of the jalapeno one in there. That's already looking good. We obviously need salt and pepper. Pepper is very good for your metabolism, so make sure you load up on black pepper. Oh, by the way, I actually have got 3 different peppers in my mill. And I actually don't need salt, but put it in if you can take it. What's next? I've got some sliced celery. Kimmy's asking, how much sodium in the gravy and mayonnaise? Good question. The gravy has some in it, which is why I allow myself this on Fridays. You know that, I think. I don't worry too much about sodium on Fridays. But the mayo, 4%. I reckon anything that's in that range is okay for me, anyway. You know, you obviously want to have as little as possible, but Fridays I'm allowed almost anything. Same here for the other one. In the gravy powder, hold on. Good question. I use the Bisto chicken gravy mix, and that has probably quite a bit, 13%. So, you know, I knew it was going to have more than normal, but I'm allowed that once a week. So, and also I put in a stock cube. I forgot about that. I did put in some broth. So that would have been high in sodium as well. Can I get it back where it was, roughly? There we go. All right, so we've got the celery in. And then I've got the green and yellow peppers. I'm going to throw those in. Going to mix that up a bit. How does that look? And then what I'm going to do is put in the turkey, mix it up again. Now, what would you put in here? Parsley or basil? Yeah, what would be your suggestion? Let's see what I've got here. Well, we got celery in there, but I think a celery leaf would look pretty, right? So I'll put a couple of celery leaves in with it. More green. Okay, and cilantro. Yeah, I've got that, but I've only got it dried. You remember I buy a big batch of it, you know, just a handful. And because I know I'm not going to eat it in time, I just dehydrate it for the rest of the year. And quite honestly, it's amazing how long it lasts. But if I put the cilantro in now, by the time I eat it, it will have... Oh, that's going to be lovely. Okay, there we go. Cilantro. Thank you for the help, Kimmy. All right, so I know Joseph said something. What did you say? That's a nice meal, especially on a warm day. That's why I thought we would do it. All right, so now I'm just going to mix it up one more time. And again, what I'm asking you is, when did you last have a Waldorf salad? Now, I think that looks pretty nice. And we know it's a complete meal. And quite honestly, I would probably make that 2 meals, because now that I've got all the fruit and everything in there, look at that. So now I can have that on its own, or I could have it with some deli meat. Now, that's a good question, Jeannie. Do I put in walnuts? I was worrying about that. And my feeling was, not everybody likes nuts, but yes, normally it would. And I also wondered about that. But don't limit yourself to just having walnuts. You know, what about pecans? What about, you know, have you tried something else? You know, so what I will do is, I wouldn't put them in now, Jeannie. I would put them as a topping when I actually serve it as a meal. So what I do is, I think is I buy my nuts mixed, and then what I do is I decide what nuts I want. I might even throw I got some cashews in there. They would be good. Oh, we got some walnuts in there. That's good. And I've got more. I just need to top up because I buy my nuts in bulk like this. And so I'll just dig out the walnuts or the pecans or whatever I feel like having. And I've got to top up my jar. So good point. Thank you for mentioning that. And you're absolutely right. Of course. But I think you will agree that it's a good thing to make. Now, we got some comments about some people don't like cilantro. And that's the joy of doing something like this. Just because the recipe says put it in, or just because Kimmy says put it in, you don't have to. If you want to put garlic in there, you can. I can't, but you can. And what you've got, and that's what I want you, I don't know if you felt that, heard that, but what you've got is the crispness of things like the peppers. That didn't work very well. But crispness of it, excellent. What if you put it on served it on a beautiful butter lettuce leaf, with this on top? Salad. Way to go. So that's going in the fridge as a food option this week. And that's quite a fair amount for me, anyway. That would serve me twice, I would think. The other thing is about the cilantro. You know what you can eat and what you can't. So, yeah. It's the same thing. Some people can eat nuts and some people can't. So I'm trusting that you will use your own intelligence. Now, is there anything to stop you adding corn to it if you wanted to? It's not you could call it a wacky Waldorf and add whatever you like to it. It doesn't, most Waldorfs do not have tomato in them, but I probably would serve tomato on the side. All right, just so I got the extra color in there. Now then, I obviously needed some color, the green color on something, so I scraped it off. But this is a zucchini, and I don't want it. I want to use it before it goes off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it this way. Okay. Oh, I need another small bowl. And what we're going to do is we're going to dig out the pulp from the center. It's probably easier said than done, but let's do it anyway. You know something? I think my baby scoop will work much better for this than my spoon. Let me see. Yep. Now, what I want you to do again here is don't get tied into any one thing. All right, I just want to see what they recommend that you put in with the turkey boats. They're suggesting some onion, which I haven't got. So I will make a I just used the onion up in the roast. So, mind you, I could use some of the onion from the vegetables. Good idea, so, because we had extra vegetables. All right, so now then, let's see how creative you would like. All right, Jeannie, good to see you. What would you like to add in here with the zucchini? Obviously, we're going to need some onion or leeks or something like that. I could actually, there's nothing to stop me putting in that vegetable mix that I've got, right? The ones that we've already got standing by. That would be good use of it. Obviously, if those of you who like garlic, we'll be adding garlic in here. And then for herbs, I'm thinking, I wonder if I've got any cayenne pepper. Oh, I've got some chili pepper. That's good. We'll put some of that in. Also a little bit of paprika because we've got the turkey going in there. So a little bit of chili powder, not too much. A little bit of paprika, not too much. Salt and pepper as usual. I'm going to skip the salt because I want to put cheese on it. And onion. Oh, onion, of course. Duh. Silly me. So some spring onion, fresh as a daisy. Now, what I'm going to do is add some cream cheese in with it. Maybe a bit more. All right, so we've got some cream cheese. I'm also going to throw in a little bit of Tex-Mex in there. And then when I cook it, I'm going to put a bit more on. So let's just mix that lot up somehow. Now, obviously, the cream cheese came right out of the fridge, so it's going to just need a little bit of help. A little bit of mayo would go in there, too. Why not? Bind it all together, wouldn't it? Now, what we've got is lots of vegetable. And we're going to add those other vegetables in as well. Okay, remember the vegetables we had left over? Let's put those in. Yum. And then all I'm going to do is load up the boats, and I would think 375 for about 20 minutes would do it. More than do it, I think. Zucchini doesn't take very long to cook. Uh-oh. Now, it'd be a good idea if I stabilize these a little bit. So what I'm going to do is take out one of my silicone molds and put them in there just to keep them upright. There's one. There's the other. Okay, so you see what I'm doing? I'm loading up in the silicone mold. So then it'll keep it all contained. To get that warming up, I need some light again here. Now, for those of you who are having barbecues, nice, easy way to make sure everybody has their vegetables, right? So now we've got it. The two boats are in there together, and now I'm going to load it up with some. Actually, I'm going to put the cheese in for the last 5 minutes, so that it will get nice and gooey over the top. Pretty darn tasty, if you ask me. So that is meal number 3. Oh, and we need a pita. Can go in at the same time. So remember, I make my dough once a week, and then I make it into little pitas, and then I just put them in the fridge like this. Then when I'm ready to make a pita, I just, what do you think? Maybe some sesame would be nice with turkey. What do you think? Oh, I was going to use some of that vegetable for my pita, but that's all right. I can make other choices. Now, I found I just want to get this into a proper bowl. I find this the greatest way to make sure, this, those of you who watch me regularly, every day I allow myself one pita. That's my bread for the day. And it's amazing. Or I can make, if I want to make a pizza, that's my pizza dough. So, and I found that by that portion control, I keep my blood sugar under control. I'm a pre-diabetic, so I'm always conscious of I want to eat good food, and I can do that as long as I have portion control. So we're going to put that in at the same time to just roll it out so it's roughly that way. Now, from experience, I know that it takes about 15 minutes at 375 to make my daily pita. And I also found out that putting flour on your glasses doesn't help you. Why am I still wearing my glasses? What was I reading? So here we go. We've spent less than an hour. All right. Less than an hour. And I have already finished prepping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 meals. Is that possible? Yes, I was reading the mayo bottle. You're right. All right. So how about that for $8? Now, I don't think I would eat more than one half of a zucchini boat. I mean, I want one zucchini half, right? So that means I've made 2 meals there if I want them. Or I could have it as, have half of one of that as a snack. What have they got? They've all got a little bit of protein. They've all got vegetable or fruit in them, and sometimes both. And that doesn't mean that I have to stop there. When I load up my plate, I can have it with a regular green salad or something or whatever. What I want you to see is I started with 2 turkey breasts that I cooked in the slow cooker for about 4 hours and really gave them a nice taste. All right. Yes, Jody. What I have is I have not cooked any carbs to go with it other than the cornstarch that would be in the gravy mix that I use. All right. So that's a little bit, but hey, it's roast turkey. I'm allowed to have gravy with it. I look at it and go, it's all about, this didn't take a lot of prep, did it? And yet I've managed to create about 8 servings out of, that's like $1 a serving. And I don't think I'm going to be short of food. So what I find so interesting is that although we are feeling the price hike everywhere, we all are around the world, I'm so grateful we still have food, quite honestly. I'm trying to imagine what it's going to be like in Africa and India and places like that in a minute now where they can't get flour or whatever. But, I'm very grateful that we've got the food we have. The other thing is I have become much more mindful about the meat that I'm eating. And what you want to think about is meat used to be the main part of the meal, with a little bit, of meat, the potatoes, and if you were really fussy, some vegetable. I'm now trying to learn from the different cultures where meat is the little bit you put on top, all right, rather than it is the main starting point. All right, so Jody's saying, I love the variety and the fact that the carbs are low. That's, Jody, you taught me this. And what I really want you all to see is I really have some awesome meals during the week. All right. I struggle to eat up what we've cooked, quite honestly. And that Irish stew that I made, I know I used lamb. That Irish stew that I made, I had a cup of that yesterday. I want to tell you, it was all the better for being frozen. So, when I go to see Dougie on Tuesday, I'm going to take him, a couple of portions that he can put in his freezer and warm up one day when he doesn't feel like cooking. Because I know he will enjoy that. And he doesn't, it's just like, that's what I like now is being able to, when I go somewhere. I want to tell you that, Yvonne and Wade, I know what I can take whenever I want to go and visit them quickly and just, take something for them to eat. Yes, Kimmy's saying, I don't eat a lot of meat, but food is still expensive. It's expensive around the world, not just in the US or Canada. I assure you, it's even more expensive in Canada than it is in the US. You do know that, right? I'm horrified at how expensive our meat is compared to that of the States. But it is what it is. And so now I'm finding more interesting ways to use it and use less of it. If you had told me that I could turn, 2 small turkey breasts into 8 meals for myself, I would have laughed at you a year ago. But the funny thing is, the more I cook like this, the more I find it fine. Why? I can add to it. How many of you know that when I do that Waldorf salad, um, I'm going to be maybe having a boiled egg on the side? Or it's interesting. Kimmy's saying eggs are out of control. $20 for 36 eggs. Wow, that is insane. You've got to have the most expensive chickens in the world. I don't know what hang on, let me have a look there for you, Kimmy. Let's see what we pay for eggs here. Jody, maybe you could look as well. What are you paying in New Hampshire? We know that Kimmy's in Kentucky, and sometimes that affects the price of stuff. So hold on a second. So what sort of eggs do you get? Free range or regular? I get Bourne eggs, and they're pretty expensive. So let me see what the price of Bourne is today. BORN, the ones I get. They've got the bright orange yolks to them because they got omega-3 in them. All right, so they are only $5.89 for a dozen here. $5.89 Canadian, which is quite a bit. Did I say Kentucky? I meant Wyoming. I know it's Wyoming. Sorry, I always do that. So I cannot believe that for 36 eggs, though. Okay, let's see what regular eggs cost. Let's see if we can find what 36 is a lot of eggs. I think that's a good price myself, but then who am I? Let's see what. All right, you can buy 30 eggs here for $10. Large brown. All right. So I don't know why they're so expensive where you are. Have you tried buying them directly from a farmer? You probably, I used to, whenever I went down to visit Benji, we'd always go on a run to the local chicken farmer and pick up some fresh eggs. Sometimes you can get a better deal that way. Cut out the middleman. So you might want to sort of see where the nearest chicken farm is to you and see if they, have a stall outside there where they sell their eggs. You might be able to save quite a bit. That is, it does seem very expensive. And by the way, normally when you buy 18 or 36, you get a much better price. So I'm not sure about that. So it is scary, isn't it? But they are a very good protein source. So I would say save money elsewhere and keep buying the eggs. All right. So Kimmy's saying 2 weeks ago, I got to go to Walmart and they were 18 for $10. Yes, that's what I'm saying. But you're saying 20 for 36 eggs. So it's about the same. Really? You're saying $20 for 36? So that would be roughly $10 for 18. All right. So the price is the same. Can you see that? If Walmart had 18 for 10 and you can buy 36 for 20, there is no difference in the price. Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. Sometimes, Kimmy, sometimes you need to revisit it, right? Because you think, oh my gosh, 20 bucks for eggs, but you forgot that you were talking about 36 eggs, not a dozen, 36. I thought it was expensive until I started to talk through it as well. Right? So that's Jody's done the math on that. It's 3.23 a dozen. Well, that's pretty good price. Right? I'm paying 5 for a dozen. A dozen is $6. Yeah, I'm paying 5 Canadian, which is about the same. So you look at it and go, do if you possibly can buy in bulk. So Jody is saying 3.23 per dozen in New Hampshire. Isn't that amazing? The difference in price. I wonder why, Jody, because I wouldn't have thought New Hampshire was the chicken, capital of the world, right? But again, we're talking the transport of feed and everything else into the central part of the states. It all costs money. The closer you are to the coast, normally you pay less. Pretty good, interesting stuff. So I've noticed that I am trying very hard to change the way I buy things. All right. Because if I can buy bigger, I do. All right. Kimmy's saying sometimes people won't buy the eggs, so they're lower in price. Yes. And by the way, do you know that the sell by date is not necessarily the eat by date? All right. I read a really interesting article about the dates on eggs, and you might want to just do a bit of research on that. Basically, eggs last as long as you've taken them and put them in the fridge, they last a pretty long time. I only buy eggs once a month normally, so they do last a long time. And I touch wood. Having said that, this will be the week I'll have one that went off. But I've never had one that went off. And if you really want to check, to drop it in a glass of water. All right. If the egg drops to the bottom, it's good. If it rises, it means there's gas inside that's causing it to rise. That one you don't want to use. So that's a good thought. And the other thing is, I find now that I am boiling a lot of my eggs, rather than using them up other ways. I'm boiling them because I want to try and make sure that I eat an egg at least every other day, a raw, a boiled egg, just to make sure I've got that protein going. But Kimmy, good that you're talking about it, right? Because that way we all get to think about how much are we paying and how could we change that in some way. Anybody else notice anything else that's particularly expensive at the moment? I don't know. I'm trying to keep track of the cost of flour. That's something that's really, been of interest to me. How much is flour going up in my life? Yes, Kimmy's saying when the eggs were cheap, we canned pickled eggs. If you are into that, that's a really good thing. Bacon is expensive, right? Soda has gone up a lot. So Jody and I both do the poor man's soda now. Um, I haven't got any going at the moment because I just washed the carafe, but I just put in water now and I throw in the ends of my orange, the two ends from the orange. I put them in the freezer immediately. And then whenever for my drinking water, I let it sit overnight, and overnight all the oils from the lemon or the orange or even the lime infuse into the water, and it's just amazing taste. Yeah, you're doing the citrus water and loving it. You got to admit that. And by the way, if you really like fizzy drinks, consider would a soda stream or something like that, create that. Jody's saying $7 for a 12-pack of Diet Coke now. I want to tell you that I keep buying it on sale, and when it's on sale, I buy 2 lots. Right? Because sometimes you can get 20 for $10. And when it gets to like that, I will buy 2 lots for there and then. I'll thrift on something else just so I can buy it at that rate. I do the same with my meat, by the way. The reason, that I could buy the turkey for that price was because it was on special that week. So I went, yes, please. I will do that. Cheese, very expensive, right? Hang on. I'm not sure how much I paid for this. Oh, maybe I can find out. I eat a particular cheese. Here's my last order. Hold on. That's a good point about cheese. Just bear with me a second because it's got to get into the system here. Pick it up automatically, please. Yeah, it's not going to do that automatically. All right. Well, I'm not going to worry about it. But yes, cheese is very expensive. What are you buying extra of, Jody? Time is going off. Thank you. Come on. Wow. That's interesting. Ah, my peach is stuck. I've never had that happen before. First time for everything. But what I want to do is just add the cheese here. Right, so you can see. Oh, you see that's cooked up really nicely. And now I'm just going to spread some Tex-Mex, which is just mozzarella, cheddar, and a little bit of jalapeno in there, just to give it a bit of bite. So I don't know about you, but I always think that cheese makes it absolutely awesome. I have no idea why that's stuck today. So now, this is the 4th meal. And like anything else, you get to make a whole lot of choices. So this is my pita for the day, which I probably won't even eat today because I'm probably going to have roast turkey either today or tomorrow. But here's my pita bun. And Jody, how did I get this far? And I say that because, I struggled for the longest time to make my own bread. But now, as you can probably see, that is just an awesome pita bun. And it's got a little bit of white flour. It's got rye flour. It's got whole wheat flour in it. It's got flaxseed. It's got honey. It's got some chia seed. um, but yeah, look at it now, right? And every time I open one up, I keep going, oh, Jody's going to love the crumb on that. Right? Now, I could choose to have half one of these and load it up with Waldorf salad, right? Or I can choose to, put sliced turkey and a lettuce leaf on it and have it for lunch tomorrow. Probably what I will do. All right, so I'm going to slice up the last piece of turkey. Oh, still got a piece of turkey left. How's that possible? How did we do that, people? Oh, I just used one lot for the 2 boats. That's why. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to slice up this turkey. And we'll put that here. What I like about these containers is I know that that's roughly how much meat I should have. I know how much to put in one of these. And then the rest I fill up with good stuff. So I can choose to have the pita with that or whatever I like. I'm going to let the bread cool though before I do that. And I've still got another chicken breast here. How did I do this, people? Another turkey portion here. Let me think. We definitely had 1 serving of roast, right? We definitely used, maybe I only used 1 for the Waldorf salad, which is going to make 2 meals. Wow. Do you see how far this has gone just by planning it a different way? So I can make another turkey salad out of this. I'm very happy with that. All in an hour. So I'm hoping you enjoyed that. I'm hoping you can see the possibilities. And remember, it's all only limited by your imagination and your willingness to try different things. Yes, Jody's saying what value? What a value. And that's what I want you to see. $8 of turkey, and then put it in the slow cooker, let it cook. And this is one of the things I've learned to do. I put a roast in the slow cooker or in my machine, whatever. I put a roast in, and then I slice up the meat. Some of it in chunks if I want to have kebab. I know it's already cooked. I just need to warm it up. All right, so Jody's saying, thank you for the inspiration. I have turkey in the freezer to use up, all right? So the main thing is, think about what you're going to do. What if I had turkey with maybe some corn and a beet and feta cheese salad, on the side? That would be something to do, right? So many different options. But just remember what a serving of turkey is, right? And in the old days, we wouldn't dream of having that much. We would have twice that much. Now, I could have that on a charcuterie board, with all sorts of bits of cheese and grapes, and I might make one of these into that, right? Make little grape and cheese and turkey bites, on a toothpick. How good would that be? While I'm binge watching. That works. All right, everybody. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to have. How about that? Look good? does to me. But it's good and hot too. Actually, that to me looks better now than I expected it to, quite honestly. It actually looks quite tasty to me now. It's a possibility. And I don't know what it was about last week. I just got to tell you this, that normally after I close the broadcast, it takes me the rest of the evening until I get to bed at about 1 or 2 to actually clean up my kitchen. Last week, for some reason, we did it so well that I had very little cleanup to do. Tonight is a little bit more, but that's okay. So there we go, $8 of meat and nearly a week's worth of eating for me if I had, turkey every day, which I'm not going to. My question is, I don't think that the zucchini will freeze well, so I will probably eat that uh, sooner rather than later. But then I will, think about what can I freeze. This is Dear Mama Sal saying, get creative and understand you can do this. You just need to eat differently. And when you look at it and go, look how healthy those combinations were. We didn't cook any carbs at all, and it's still going to taste great. A little bit of gravy. We can do that, right? Maybe I'll put a little bit of gravy and make a second roast turkey dinner. Um, yeah, that's a possibility. All right, everybody, thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember that I can't do this without you, so give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll do another one. This is Dear Mama Sal saying thank you so much, Jody, for all the help, as usual, and to the rest of you for being there through thick and thin. I really appreciate it. This is Dear Mama Sal saying bye-bye for now. I'll see you on Sunday.